welcome back. It is, God, what day is it? Day 3? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. It gets a little hard to tell after a while. We walked out for a minute in the sunshine this morning and almost didn't recognize it between being in the hotel and being in the rain. Anyway, Chris Garlock here with Michael Redmond. We are a little bleary-eyed, but we have a treat for you. As we speak, Korea and Japan are both undefeated, 5-0, and are playing. You can see their game on PandaNet now. We are going to take a look at their last 2 rounds. The 4th round from yesterday afternoon, which we didn't really get a chance to see because we were here doing commentary yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And then the round 5 matches, which we sort of got a peek at. The round 5 matches are very interesting. Anyway, so we're going to look at how Korea and Japan got to this showdown today. So buckle up because
it's tough, yeah.
What he said. So as always, questions, comments in the chat. I will relay them. I think we're going to start with round 4. This is the
Japanese player is black.
Japanese player. I will put that in the notes for everybody.
Minoru Ozeki.
And Japan was playing. They're not now. To be clear, they're not playing each other in these rounds. They're playing other folks.
Yeah.
He was playing France. So this is Japan.
So it's Benjamin. You can pronounce it for me.
No, we don't have to do this. I talked to Ben, and he actually some of you out here know this. He actually goes by Ben Zero.
Ben Zero is easy.
It's much easier.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones who have trouble pronouncing it, apparently.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Also, he went into a pro qualifier in Europe, so I think he told me that next month he'll be a pro. So he's just under the wire.
Great.
So this will be his last WAGC. So,
Okay.
All right.
So Japan has the black stones. Okay. Yes, so this is a bit unusual. This is actually a move that was played a lot before AI. And locally, if white pushes through and cuts, black does have an advantage in the local field.
I'm sorry, I forget which
Black is Minoru Ozeki, the Japanese player.
Yeah. Good to go.
And yeah, so it's various ways to play. White does have an advantage with the ladder, but will lose 2 stones on this side. So that's going to be bad. And so white has a problem saving. Crawling a lot, it would still be a problem. White could crawl a number of times and try stuff like this. But it's sort of difficult to kill the black group, so it's going to be a difficult variation for white. So white played away once, and it's important for black to play quickly here, so that black has, this is actually like the old Joseki used to be like this. It's a much better shape for black on the right side when black plays here. So that was what black was aiming at. And white was playing 2 moves on the sides to make up for that. But I'd say this is, just because black has such a good position on the right side, I'd say this was okay for black. Okay, we're coming into a Joseki that's very popular nowadays. We used to play sometimes this way, in which case white would play here and here. And if black plays here, it's a trap. So that would, or it's already bad for black. And black will answer with something like this. So this was a Joseki. It still is, I guess. It's still pretty valid. But nowadays people play the game move, which is this one. And this one also was a Joseki, but we used to play this one. So this is also a pretty even fight, and white's maybe going to jump into the 3-3 point. And there are various things can happen after this. So this is also, however, if black plays like this, you do notice that the shape here, it's a kind of an empty triangle shape. So these stones here. And the AI variation tries to avoid this bad shape here by playing the extension instead. So this move, in which case it's more like, it's a slightly better shape. However, black does have to be careful of the damage mark. So if black plays away, for instance, if black plays something like this and this, and white can connect up underneath here. So This is, we could do the sekito thing, the stone pillar. And this is going to be trouble for black. Yeah. So black does have to deal with that, and that's what the hane. So it's more important. While usually it would be important to control the center like this, it's more important to have that stone here, which is dealing with the weakness underneath. And there. So now black. This is an important move because if white were to get to this point, then black would be like this. In this case, you have to think of the possibility that somehow this stone escapes, and then the black group would be eyeless. So the game position when black plays here, the eye shape that black has built here is very important because black can play at R18 next, and that's 2 eyes. So the black group becomes very strong, and it means that there's no value in white trying to save this stone. So it changes the status of the whole black area on the right side. So this is an important move. It also takes away the eyes from white's group here. So just remember for the time being that black is thinking of attacking that white group, and you're going to see how he does it later. Okay. So I get the feeling that the game is probably a bit difficult for white at this point. So the way black has efficiently controlled the right side. I'd go back and say that this joseki here, it was a slight advantage for black. So white probably had to find something a bit more active with this move. And black just had this good shape on the right side, and the bottom side, nothing special. So a slight advantage overall for black. White was sort of forced to spend a lot of stones here without getting much for it. Okay, so black is expanding the moyo and is still looking at the potential to attack this white group. So he's thinking of that every time. When he played this move, that was the basic preparation, and with this move in the center, he's raised his fist at this point. He's ready to do it next. Okay. So white invades. If white were to leave it, black would continue. So for instance, if white were to play this would be a big move. So white could think of playing here. Black's going to play somewhere around here, lending some support to this stone. Next, black can save this stone. So that's why I put a stone at 2, because white, sort of locally white needs to answer that. So something like this, black would be building the right side, and it would be getting high into the center. So that would be a big move. So that's what white is trying to forestall that. Yeah. So this gets rid of the aji at this point, which would be looking at various cuts. So maybe this cut, if black doesn't do anything, it's this cut, which would capture the 2 cutting stones. In some cases, it's the other cut. So black plays here, white plays here. Black has a lot of issues here. So maybe something like this, something like this. You can see white's getting some forcing moves there, and we'll be able to probably is going to be able to make a living shape here on the side. So that's the idea with white's move. So black plays here. So this, it gets rid of the cut here, and it creates an escape route for this black stone. So if white tries something like this, black's solidly connected out. And it also is trying to finish the territory here. So it's a very good defensive shape. And white has to move out. So white moved out and has escaped. White has reduced the territory to a certain degree. This stone is sort of ambiguous. If black really tries, black could play at this point, and it can escape, but it's going to be a very clumsy shape, and white's alive in the corner. So it's not a big deal. It's not so important. So black finally is going to attack the top right side, and I think, Chris, you've already seen the answer. You've seen the move. But this is a point where some people might be interested to think a bit. Just to show what I'm talking about. So this would be like the normal idea. The thing is, white's going to have enough space to have two eyes. So what black has accomplished here is black has just simply reduced the top side territory, which is, it's something that you might want to do, but it's not making an attack against white. So black played here. So he's still preparing. Sorry, he didn't quite.
He's really.
Yeah.
Boom.
So this is the move.
Boom.
So if white plays here, black plays here and here. So black's taking away white's eye space.
Nice shape.
So you might imagine if black played here and white played something on top, the next move would be here. So this is what black wants to do anyway.
Same thing.
Yeah. But he has to start from this move.
Right.
Because if he doesn't, then white's going to defend like this.
Yep.
Yeah. So he starts with this. And so if white plays here, it's according to plan. So black can play here. Or actually, two-space jump would also work.
And if white tries
and white
to
doesn't have eyes.
defend the other ways.
And so what the move you have to be wary of is white playing on the outside. And it all depends on this cut working at some time. It doesn't work yet. So black has to crow once. And if white plays here, black can cut once and then cut here. And now white cannot capture in that ladder-like shape, so it's not going to work. And if white plays an Atari from this side, white's already losing. And if white plays a move like this, it's still bad for various reasons, but it's sort of hard to find the strongest move. But this would be a simple way to make Ni of the threat in the center, which is this one, and the threat to capture. So that would be the simple way to do it like this. Yeah. I think black might actually find a more strong move, but this would be the easy to understand variation. So, and if white plays here, black can cut. And again, this is going to be a variation where black kills the three white stones, maybe something like this. It would be a kind of a trade. It might be wise for white to do that, but we'll see what happened in the game. White connected, so white's not giving anything up, and he doesn't want to have to play that peep. So this is what, that's why black played this move actually. He was setting up so that he can answer the peep like this. So the Kosumi and the move that black just played, they connect a linked up shape. So if white answers here, black will be able to play on the other side. So white, why not avoid the necessary? White should avoid playing that peep as much as possible, and then white still has the idea that white's group here and white's group here. White has to save both of these groups, obviously, and then it's still not bad for black, but at least it's still a game. So this was the losing move for white to have to play the peep, because black has this killing tesuji. So it looks like white has a counter tesuji, but it didn't work. So white played here. The idea is that if black pushes through, white can play here and here. So that would link out, but black just connected. And now white played here, black played here. So black got the whole right side after white had spent a move to jump in. So that's really big. And white's just a kind of a useless wall here. So that was decisive. If white plays the other way, would be this way, but it's a bit painful, and it's probably going to die. So that's why I didn't do that. So this was the decisive attack. White made some subtle mistakes, but I think it's more prominent that black was playing quite well and aggressively here. And so they're going to, just to make one point here, this is a point where black has this big territory on the right side. White doesn't really have anything to compare to it. And black has played here. He's going to make some space here. And hopefully black wants to live here, and that will sort of finish the game. Black has a substantial lead. But I was a bit worried when I saw what happened after this, because black's playing a lot of dame points, and he doesn't have any eyes. And the attitude of black's play, it looks almost as if he's trying to kill this white group. But if I look closely, the white group is alive. So this is the kind of play that you get worried that maybe it's going to be an upset.
So you're saying don't try to kill a live group.
You don't try to kill a live group. So, and he's actually continuing to sort of try to pester it. But at this point, it's clearly alive. So white has one eye here, and white has another eye here. So white has two eyes. And there's no way for black to take them away. So white actually has an eye here. So
You need to show that because I think people are thinking, well, what if black pushes. Thank you.
yeah. So the other way would be to push and play here. Okay, so this is potentially, okay, so actually white, at some point, white's going to play the hane once. So that's important. So we'll leave that in. So this is the move that's the most dangerous. But it's going to kill the black group too. So this is going to be a ko for the life of the black group. White has some ko-threat here. So it means that basically the black group is going to die. White has some ko-threats against the black group on the left side too. So black needs something very convincing as a trade. So that's not going to be good.
So why?
So it's not clear why he was doing that. So like, it's pretty clear that black has lost a lot of his eye space. So I'm going to show you what I think black should have done when white played here. White's played a very good move here. It's a key point in black's shape. It's a final point. If we agree that the white group is alive, there's no need to save these stones, and there's no need to save these stones. And what black wants to do is black wants to get an area for this black group, which would finish the game. So I'm going to say black should have played here. And white can push through a bit, but it's going to only get something. So like,
give him a few stones.
Yeah. Black still has a cut at g14, so white's going to play something like this. And these two stones, at this point, they're pretty much gone. But black has, it's not going to play there, but black has an eye somewhere around. Let's put a stone here. So black has an eye somewhere around here. E14 here, at this point. If black plays here, that's going to be center. So black has an eye in that area, and black has some space here. So in this case, it's going to be easy for black to have two eyes. So this would have handily finished the game. But 11 is a big move as far as territory is concerned, and it's also important because it gets rid of any ideas that white might have to break up this territory, which is now black's connected, so it gets rid of that threat. So just to show you the game, it does get a bit more exciting, but ultimately it wasn't enough to give white a win. So here, yeah, you can see white's trying to make things complicated. Cutting up all the black groups, but turns out black does have enough room to make two eyes. So it's like this, and it's a ko. White's group is actually, it's not very healthy, is it? So this white group. So it was a ko to win the game. Black was playing very strongly, fighting very strongly throughout the game. Maybe he wanted to show that he could play a fighting game too, because he usually plays very calmly. So that's this game. I think the key point, the most exciting point in this game, the most instructive point, is this attack that black made on the top side, which was, it became the decisive attack. So instead of getting into that fight where white had to squeeze out with a weak group, it was better for white to go into one of those variations where white's going to sacrifice a few stones and get something on this side. So this would be a more viable variation. So yeah, so this fight here where black ended up cutting white off in the center here. So that was decisive.
So big. Pretty decisive. All right, so that's Japan's win over France yesterday afternoon. We will now jump over to the.
Jump over, okay.
Give us just a moment. We'll jump over to the Korean. This is Korea.
Korea versus China. That's the 5th round. Is that?
I think that's today.
That's today. So Korea versus, where is it? Maybe this one.
That's it. One.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's against Taiwan. Taipei. Okay. And Korea is white in this game.
Korea. Yes.
Korea's white? Oh, yeah.
Korea's white.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to
We start a review, yeah.
review.
Go ahead. Doesn't look like it's the same, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Yes?
Quick water break. I'll be right back. Really need to get some beers up in here. But we do get all the nice cold water we can drink, so that's all right.
Okay,
All right, we're back.
You know, they're playing 3-4 points in this game. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is
Right, so I gotta put these. Let's see, who's who.
Korea is white and Taipei is black.
Okay, let's put that in both. Reminder, if you've got questions or comments, put them in the chat. And also that we're looking at the the Korea
Versus Taipei.
Taipei, this one, but we're also looking at, because Korea and Japan are playing now
Yeah.
in round
Six.
6.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to be
Obviously.
6-0, and somebody's going to be 5-1.
Right. There's probably going to be a few 5-1s.
Oh,
How
I
many?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can check that actually.
Well, China only has one loss.
China has. Oh man, China was
China
so
lost to Korea.
Very disappointed.
He was very disappointed. Yeah.
very disappointed.
He froze up in the middle of counting the game.
I know.
But I think he should have known that he was losing, but he froze up in the middle of the counting.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So
All right.
let's just take another look at the first moves of the game.
So no, they had to.
Three,
I heard you had to come and count the game.
Well, I was watching, and he was counting the game, and then he just stopped moving.
Yeah.
His body stopped moving. So yeah. So
Maybe
I
the
counted
jet
it
lag
for-
kicked back in.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be. I kind of feel that way.
He sort of wanted to resign, but they'd already finished the game, and
That'd be bad. That would be bad.
I think he
for
was
him
sort of
at that
fighting
point.
with himself. about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
I got the feeling he wanted to. That if it was a more informal game, he would have resigned at that point.
But I don't think he could. He could do that.
And I was telling himself he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the two-space. The two-space pincer is one of the cases where sometimes you can push through and cut here, and there's a whole bunch of really difficult josekis
We're not going to go
or
into this.
variations. We're not going to do that. Okay, yeah, that's easy for me. Okay, so at this point, the first thing is that white can't jump out in between these two black stones because black can push through.
Bad
and
things.
basically,
Bad things happen.
So white can either slide into the corner,
Okay.
which is still viable to a certain degree, at least to a completely different joseki, or white can play here. So the idea behind this stone is very simple. White's hoping that he can kill these two black stones, right? If white plays another move in the corner. It doesn't pan out that way, but that's what white's hoping to do, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, if black answers here, now white can jump out. So it's creating the hanging connection here to jump out. If white can jump out like this, in a position like this, black's not 100% alive in the corner. So white would be doing fairly well in this fight. White would be out on both sides. Black would still have to be focused on living in the corner, and white would probably take the initiative on the outside. So this would be good for white. So black plays here. So at this point, there's two shape moves for black to close off the outside, and the other one would be this one. But this is less attacking, so in this case, it's probably good to play here. And then here. So when we started researching with AIs, there was a popular joseki where black would play here, and white would have this nice little move here. And if black connects, white's going to win the semi by one move. So it's like this, and like this. And white wins by one move. So in some cases, it gives black a lot of co-threats. It gives black sente. In some cases, this is viable for black, but usually black wants to save those two stumps, right? So to do that, black plays here, white plays here, and black ends up cutting on this side, and black gets the territory. So this is actually a sort of a joseki. It was played a lot. And this was, people were researching this with a computer and getting this kind of result. And then at a certain point,
it just looks better for black somehow.
it looks better for black, but black did play the first move. And so just to look at that once more. Later on, white's going to play an Atari. Connect, right? Sometimes black doesn't connect.
Yeah.
But if we say black connects, sometimes white can play here. And so it might require some reinforcing but if we say that in some cases white can get these two forcing moves, it's actually not such a great shape. So there's that weakness at 12, which if white does it too early, maybe black's going to be annoying a bit, and it might be a completely different fight. But if white can get to this point, then it's a big problem for black. So that's the redeeming point for white. Also the fact that white has sente, and the fact that black's sort of clumpy on the first line there. It means that it's okay for white too. It's an even result.
Okay.
And then there's this one, which is the game move. Black plays here, white plays here. If black plays, sorry, that was a slip of my hand. If black plays here, white still has this one. And it's the same thing, only black's fill the liberty. So if black plays here, obviously black's going to lose. If black remembers the Tetsuji and plays here, it's not going to work anymore because black filled one of his own liberties. So if black was going to do that, he had to do it now. So in this case, and there's the extra liberty there, right, and black can win. So black jumps. Okay, just looking at it, it looks like white's winning by one move. So if black plays the key point here, white's going to wedge. Oh, sorry. And squeeze like this. And although black has an eye, there's not enough inside liberties to make it worth it, and white wins this one. So it looks like this is a win for white, right? If black plays something like this, white can actually do stuff like this, and this sort of breaks out. So like if black plays here, that's obviously bad.
Yep.
If black plays here, white's going to get an eye on the side, so this is going to be okay for white. Okay, so that's enough detail, I think. But there's this move. This was actually, if I recall correctly, it was not an AI suggested move. It's the type of move that AIs they don't bother to play. Like, the AI is going to win the game anyway, so it likes to keep things, I don't know, it doesn't like to play the bad Tsuji move. It seemed to be a blind spot in the AI, and I think my recollection is that this was a human discovery. Black plays here once, and then plays on the outside. So that's getting rid of the move here, which was a Tetsuji for white.
Right.
And it's also, of course, it's filling liberty.
Yeah.
And so, just to recap, so if black had played here, white would have this move, which would squeeze and win the semi. if black had played here, white would get an eye on the side. That would be good for white too. And if black just plays here, white's going to play here and squeeze like this. And this is another win for white. It's the same thing. So what black is doing with this hane here, just the one hane and then here, is that he has a move that refutes this. So if black plays here, white's just going to return to this variation, which is a one move win. But black can connect now. And it turns out that cut at 0-2 is really annoying. Ooh. So if white plays there, black plays here, white can squeeze. But white's not really winning the fight on the outside because, and white's not even alive in the corner.
Right. This is terrible.
So if white answers that, now black's going to cut here. And that stone at 1 is in the worst possible place. Like it could be any other point in the corner, and white would be winning the semi-eye. 1 is the only move that doesn't win the semi-eye. So white plays here, black plays here. It's important that black takes. And this would revert the semi-eye winning variation for white. But what black takes, and it's going to be some kind of a ko. So this ko, it takes a long time for white to kill the black group. And so it's just good for black. So white has to give up on that and plays here. So white got some extra towards the bottom side, but this is going to be a seki if black bothers to make it. So, and I don't get that. What's he trying to do with this? So black. This was brilliant. This was brilliant. So if black continues with any move locally, so let's just try to make a diagram out of it. So white probably wants to fill the inside liberties, but not too many, because if white does that, white loses. So black has to spend a move here, but gets a seki. So basically it's a shape somewhat like this.
Right.
At this point in the game, white 10 is actually a bigger move, so black doesn't have to do that yet. Sometimes black's going to force from the bottom side here, and then white's going to capture the cornerstones. It's only 5-6 black stones, so it's 10-12 points. So it's not worth black saving that, but black has a seki. So in a shape like this, where black is pushed through and cut and squeezed like this, you usually expect black to have a dead group in the corner, and so it's a trade of territory for outside influence. But actually, the corner is not dead yet. So it gives black a small lead. It's a very slight lead. But playing here is a wasted move. So he should just do something like this. Play a big move. It would be better to play an extension on the right side when compared to this move. Okay, so white plays here. White's trying to make trouble inside the black territory. And yeah, I hate this move. So this is probably where black is going wrong here. I think black started with a slight advantage, but like I told you, this is a semi where black gets a seki. But like if you're going to add a stone, you have to add it here, filling the liberty. That makes that's a one move difference to the. So if black plays here, black doesn't have to save the one stone, but the thing is, at the point where black has played 1, he has saved it temporarily. So if white just ignores that, black can still do stuff like this and cut white. So white has to add another stone, and then the black stone can be sacrificed. So this would still be good for black.
But black has
already saved this corner.
Two slow N6 and
and this variation N6 is sort of working, but not filling the liberty in the corner, that's a one move difference. It's already a seki now. Well, strictly speaking, there can be a ko, but the ko is just as dangerous for white as it is for black. So if we say white plays from this side, it's going to be a seki. So black has already established the seki, you might say. So this would revert to the seki. It's a big move. It takes away eye space. The fact that white has not captured those black stones means that this group has to live on the side. In the fighting on the right side, it can turn into an attack on white on the bottom side. So that's another white group that black can sort of aim to attack. This doesn't even fill liberty. It means that if white plays here at any point, now white's going to capture the black group. So it's simply a one move win for white. So if white plays first, white can capture the black group. So that stone is not doing anything. So really strange.
It saved the other stone. I'm sorry.
That's what I said.
You were just so annoyed. You were just so annoyed at this move.
This saved
I
the
don't-
other style too. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Listen.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's where
Like offended by that move.
White got into trouble. Yeah. I mean, black got into trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so they're continuing to fight. It didn't finish the game. This is a tesuji you see a lot. It's a way for black to cover white from above. If white plays here, black's probably going to play something like this.
Right.
So the idea is to close white in. In the game variation, white did get to break out like this, and white has paid. So like, black's getting a nice little territory there. Black has an Atari at B13, so there's some value for black too. But black could have tried to be more forceful by playing here. It's just that the thing is that it gets a bit messy when white does that. So it's a different fight. Okay, so black plays here, white breaks through. Yeah. Black's trying to stage attacks here, so I get that. This is an interesting variation. Usually the hane here would be sente. So basically white needs to play here, and it's still not 100% alive, but white's basically just leaving some aji in the corner, and white would have to return to the center group, which is sort of in trouble. So in this case, he's trying to play one extra forcing move before he plays here. That's just what white's idea is. Okay. So black is attacking in the center. At this point, white is pretty safe. White has escaped out and is back to an idea of territory. So this area is not 100% black's territory yet. Black does have an area here. White has a lot of control over the bottom side. Black's still trying to attack, but it didn't work very well, did it? So yeah. Now he has to reduce the bottom side. And it's a messy fight. Okay. So it's really complicated and difficult.
Yes.
So that's sort of why
Yes.
I'm not going into detail here. It's a tough fight for black. So basically, that's the thing. So it wasn't easy for black to find a way to live, but it turns out there was a ko, right? And in a while they'll get to it. Okay, so they're doing this fight on the top side, and black finally plays on the bottom side.
Wait! I just am so uncomfortable leaving this black group looks semi-dead to me.
And yeah, well, that's why he left it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right then.
There's a white group here on the left side, which is sort of semi-dead, I guess.
Yeah, that one doesn't look too healthy
It
either.
doesn't look healthy. So it was a kind of a trade.
Okay.
White's winning.
Okay.
Yeah. And so black plays here, but black does have a ko here. So, okay. Yeah. And it's, at this point, it seesaws back and forth. So white played here, and this gave black an opportunity. So white should have just played down here. And this is an interesting shape. So white wants to save the stone at K17.
Okay.
This would not do it because black just takes it like this. So white goes straight down. It looks like maybe it's difficult, but actually, so say black
Yeah,
plays
that's
here.
what I'm thinking. Why doesn't that work?
So white plays here.
Right.
Black plays here. Black plays here.
Connect.
Connect.
Sure. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
problem.
right? So there's this tesuji here where black runs out of liberties.
Really fast.
Yeah. So maybe black gets smart and plays here. Turns out to be the same thing. Yeah, so this finishes it off.
Sweet. Oh, that is very cool.
There's similar tesuji problems. They're classic problems. So white has that. Black can survive by doing this. But you see that's painful. And now in this variation, the white group it's relatively easy for white to live. So like if black tries to kill it, it's like this, and white plays here. It's like this, right? So up to this point, it's pretty straightforward. And white has this move, so white can play here. We can give black this one, just to make it more... So white can play here, and if black plays here, this kills the 4 black stones. We're already in the 30s, so you can see how complicated it is. This is the simple variation.
It's just a 33 move sequence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, obvious, right? And in this way, white already sort of has an eye there, but also can capture like this.
Yeah.
So that was a tidy 35 move thing. So white should do that, and the bottom line is that white's going to be alive. So whatever white does. So that's what white should have done. Let's see what happened in the... sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Zen game.
Zen game, yeah. Okay, so white should have done that. That's what white was trying to do with the cut in the first place. So this move, that's why he played this move.
Right. What did he do?
He covered here first. And you remember how in the last variation, at the last stages, white got an eye here. Or white got the hane at the M at that point.
Yeah.
So this exchange, basically the exchange of this stone, ultimately for a black stone here, is going to change that.
Yeah.
And take that eye away from white. So white, it's the same variation is going to happen in the game. The basic difference is that when white plays this exchange, white's going to be dead. And if white doesn't play that exchange, then later on white can play here and here, and white's going to be alive. So there's the difference there's the one eye difference here in the center. So that's the basic difference that I'm talking about.
Okay.
And so while it might have been confusing when I started on the top side, that's just because locally this is a great move for white to do and squeeze black and make black end up having only 2 eyes, 2 points. So it's really effective for white to save these 2 stones. That's why I start with this. But the real difference is that white can make an eye here. Or in the game, if we just simplify it by saying that there's this exchange, now white cannot make an eye there, and it's going to die. So let's see the variation where it dies. So this is where black answered there, which gives white an extra move and simplifies things. Now white is 1 move away from getting 2 eyes here, and also white, in this case, white has an attack in the center. White can still play here. So it takes longer. Black can't kill it, basically. So black should have, instead of that move, black should have started the ko. So there's a ko here. If black plays here, and white plays here. If black plays here, white's going to win by 1 liberty. Let's see. Yeah, white can do it this way. And white's going to win by one liberty. So it's going to be like this, and like this. And black cannot win. So everything would die. So black has to play a ko at 3. So like this. And it's going to be a ko. So here,
pretty big ko.
Here, in this case, black's 1 move ahead. So black has to play the ko. White has to. Let's do it this way. White has to play the ko. Black's going to play a move here, and is already threatening the white group. So it's going to be like this, like this. And black's going to be able to live. And it looks like the white group is going to die. So yeah, he should have done it that way.
Let's take just a 2-second.
2 second.
Terrier.
Shall I count seconds for you?
Yeah, could you? Let me just turn the mic off for 1 second. Yes.
Yeah, my back is just killing me, so I'm going to go to something. I'm getting some nerve.
Okay, thanks for your patience, folks. We're back. It's a little, we're dropping like flies with the injuries.
Yeah, that's bad. Okay, so let's get back
All right,
to the
everybody
game.
hanging in there? Everybody hanging in there? All right, when we get done with this one, before we go to the next two for the round 5 games, we'll take a little bit of a water break, bathroom break.
So here, all right, so black covered here. And this means that, and white played here. This means that it becomes more difficult for black to kill that white group. Oh yeah, so he's not even trying. But if black plays here, white can cut here and play here. And black doesn't have time to connect, and black doesn't have time to connect. So it's going to be a call. So if black still had a threat there. If black had played this move down here, then in this case, black would still be able to kill the white group with this, because he's dealt with the situation in the center there. So in this case, taking this stone doesn't change white's high shape. So that was maybe, although it looks like it loses a bit of territory, it's actually this was the better variation, and this made it more easy for white. The game move. Let's see, where this one. It made it more easy for white to play away, because now white's pretty close to, like it is a ko, but it's a really difficult ko for black to play. So I'd call this alive.
It is, it is alive. R19.
Okay, let's do that again. So white cut here.
Yeah.
If black plays here.
Okay, sorry. I'm with you.
So
I'm
it's
with
going to be
you. I
this
got
ko.
it. Okay.
This ko is painful for black too.
Right.
So white finally dealt with this final bad aji. It could be that black had sort of missed that tessuchi, missed the idea of playing here and then playing a ko, because it's usually you want to connect, but yeah, in this case, this is the best variation that black had. Maybe he didn't see that somehow. I don't know. It's sort of strange that black didn't incorporate that into a way to try to kill the white group, because in the game he just allowed white to live. And now it's going to be an end game, and white was ahead. So that white group is dead on the left side, but the bottom side is big. And so they keep on playing, and they finished the game, didn't they? Do you have a point score? Okay, the computer says 13.4 points, which is interesting, but yeah, it's a lot of points, yeah.
Oh, but 13.4, they may not be accounting for Comey, because I seem to remember that it's like a 6 or 7 point.
Okay, yeah.
So I could be misremembering, but I think it actually was a little bit closer than that.
So black started well with the joseki trap kind of thing, but didn't take full advantage of it, and it was a tangled fight in the center. But black did have that one chance that I was talking about with all those long variations.
Good fighting spirit. So those are the round 4 games from both Japan and Korea, who are playing now almost certainly for probably first and second.
It's a pretty important game. It's like there's going to be 2 more rounds after that. But
things can happen. China, I don't think you can count China out for sure.
Right. But yeah, when you lose early, there is a tendency to have a disadvantage in points.
Right.
So when it's a tie, the players who lasted longer with perfect record tend to have better points. But you never know. It depends.
It does depend. So what we'll do, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll come back and we will look at the games that we just played this morning, one by Korea, one by Japan. And what I'm going to do is, let me see if we have, let me see if I can find you if there are any PandaNet games still going. Let me see what's happening on PandaNet. What's happening on PandaNet? It's not PandaNet. Oh, here we go. No. Here we go.
That's
These are all done.
that's a finished game.
Oh. All right. Oh wow, look, good. They're all still going. Which
Okay.
one? Which
The one in the middle here.
The one here?
Yeah.
There we go. So let's go ahead and show you this game.
It looks like they're almost finished.
All right, we are going to share. We're going to show you the current game right now. Actually, when we come back, we can actually sort of take a look at what we're looking at before we go back to the games from this morning. So we'll put the existing game between Japan and Korea up for you to take a look at while we take our little break, and we will be right back. And let me turn. Mute that. All right, we are back with more water, and that gave Michael a chance to look at the round 6 game that we've been talking up. And
Looks like Korea resigned.
looks like Korea resigned.
And, yeah, I was thinking this is a position where I would expect black to resign. Yeah.
So this is pretty exciting. I'll have to do some research. Maybe I'll take a sneak a peek while you're doing this. But it's been China and Korea for a while. I'm trying to remember the last time Japan won.
Right. Yeah.
This is big.
That's
I
my
mean,
impression.
we're not saying that Japan's won, but 6-0 is
6-0 is an advantage.
an
a definite
advantage
advantage.
and impressive.
Yes.
So we're going to look at that game, but we have some other games to look at first.
yes.
And this is an exciting game,
Yeah.
you're saying.
Right.
Just from
Yeah,
looking
well,
at the
well,
position.
The final position actually is it's a good TSG problem. So those of you who have this position can look at it for a while.
Okay.
You can save your screen or something. This is you have to ask what happens if black pushes through, or what happens if black connects on the fifth line. There's two variations. You have to have an answer for both of them.
Oh,
And then you know why black resigned.
so we're looking at that. You're seeing the other one actually.
They're not seeing it yet?
No,
Okay.
no, we switched off of it.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, so we're going back to where are we going back to? Here.
Okay, this is the game I was going to do, but I
Oh,
do
we have to
start
cut.
a
Yeah, we
review.
have to start a review. So hang with us. And this is. All right. This is
It's Japan and New Zealand.
Japan and New Zealand.
Japan is what?
Okay. Japan and New Zealand, and this is from this morning,
Yes.
round 5. Japan, white versus New Zealand. All right, so to you, Michael, and oh, Europe is tuned in. Hi, Europe. Good evening,
Great.
Europe.
Okay, well, I would have continued on the left side. I guess the modern move would be to play this one.
Yep.
I think the left side is important. So yeah, this way. And yeah, they got into this Josephine. So in this case, white pushes through. White has a local advantage. So in this case, the extension here is super valuable. Black plays here. If black leaves it, then actually this would be forcing, but if black leaves it, white can kill the corner with this. So it's important for black to answer there. And yes, so like that. Yeah, so the attachment at C9, it probably wasn't so great. Probably
That's-
better to
No,
just go around.
that was right. That was right where this. Anyway, the screen froze up for a while,
Okay.
and I actually had Terry checking. I was like, "What's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
It's just my screen.
Okay. So at this point, white's group is safe, and white played away. If black cuts here, white can play here, and then something like this. Although it's a crummy shape, yeah. It does capture the two black stones.
Right.
So that's how that works.
Crummy shape. Is
It doesn't look good, does it? There's a
It's
mosquito
a
or
net.
something.
No, it's
a
not even.
net?
It's
Yeah.
a net. Or
Okay.
we're waving at people.
Yeah, right, yeah. So when black has a knight's enclosure like this, these two stones, playing a kakari from underneath is often a good move. So if white were to play here, then black would attach here. And if black can get the corner on this scale, it's a big corner. It's more than 10 points. So sometimes you see white wedging here. We
Yeah.
saw that in the last few rounds.
We
I
did.
did some commentaries. But in this variation, black tends to get a big corner territory. It's going to be closer to 20 points. And so unless white has something really spectacular, when it's like this, it's usually not a good enough profit for white. So So white played this way. So it makes sense. When white plays here, if black plays here, white's going to pull back and has this. There's a lot of bad aji when black does something like that. There's all these this bad stuff that can happen in the corner. It's like if black pulls back and thinks the corner is black's territory, you have to remember that this is forcing itself. So everything can be saved, and the corner is a bit weak. So when white attaches like this at 4, it's usually a good idea just to connect. And white's going to play some kind of extension to the side. So this is also a joseki, but it's the joseki choice in the game was a more interesting move. Black plays here.
Whoa.
So this is actually a joseki variation. But it works best if black has a stronger position on the right side here. Black doesn't really have anything to back up this stone, so it means
Talking about it's got 2 white stones.
2 white stones, right? Yeah. Okay, so the idea is that what black is, if white plays into the corner, white can live. So if white had played here, it would be like this. This would be kind of a joseki. But then black would have a forcing move at S12 and a thick shape. So this is the diagram that black is sort of trying to head towards. When white pushes through, black can take away white's base. And so this works really well when jumping out to the left like this is pretty pointless, and the right side is big. But the reason it's not ideal in this shape is because black's not really getting a lot on the right side either. So that's why this was okay for white. And at this point, black does have to deal with the top right corner. And now white plays it. So this was about even, but it's looking, on the whole, I think it's looking good for white. I think it goes back to this move, which was a kind of a subtle mistake, where black's not really getting anything from that. So just to go back to that point again. Up to this point, it was kind of a joseki. Black should probably curl around and just focus more on the center. For instance, something like this. Or black could play this first.
Oh, that's nice.
Black doesn't need to do, like black can still play something like this. It's not a big deal. It's not as if black had to hurry to play that. So I think that's what the issue was. Black's gradually falling behind. And yeah, so that was a big move. And yeah, this was a big move. And black's group here, it's not really alive yet. Black has this group in the center, which is not 100% alive yet. And white's taking big points as far as territory is concerned. So on the whole, it's a slight advantage for white. And yeah, with this move, so black had to be a bit more active, playing something like this. This would be a much more active, so for instance, something like this, or like this. This would be a much more active move, putting more pressure on white. And if white plays this way, then black will maybe like this. This would be a larger scale area and more of a challenge to white. So the game move was a bit too specific. This is the move you play if you're winning.
Right.
So you see it a lot, you see black playing this move in the no-komi games of the Edo era, where black had no-komi, and so black would play a solid move like this and finish the game. In komi games, you generally have to try harder, and especially this game, where black is sort of in danger of falling behind. So yeah. So it's turned into an endgame, basically. So this is Ozeki's favorite style of game, and he's just playing the big points, and white has an advantage in territory. So yeah, here black is making it. This is actually a way you can sometimes invade. If black plays here, white would be getting a bit more territory on the side. So with something like this, for instance. Or if black pushes, black eventually has to come back to this point. So this was a tesuji, and the game sort of demonstrates how white's going to do it when black tries to counterattack. Okay, this is alive. So now black has started to surround the center, but there's various directions. So white moves out this way, but also can move out this way. So that's what limits the area that black can get here. Yeah, so black had, this was also an important point surrounding the center. So black had two moves that he had to play to get a big center. And so white got one or the other. So here they're still playing an endgame. This is, okay, so this is the final endgame test strategy where if white connects here, black still has some territory on the right side, but white can actually threaten the corner with this move, which is more efficient at reducing the right side. So we'll see that in play. Black eventually had to defend here. It's slightly better to defend like this, in which there's no... When black plays here, sometimes when white gets this endgame move, later on it's going to be like this. This would make a seki of the area. So obviously it's better to have the hanging connection instead of S18, in which case there would be nothing like that. So although it takes some time for white to get that, it increases the value of white 1 and 3, which is the point I'm trying to make. So he should have played a hanging connection to defend. And this is, you see in action how white used the stone so basically the stone at T15 made it possible for white to play here and have a connection underneath. So yeah, and white would actually push through here instead. Basically, it's the connection underneath that saves the white stones. So yes, so black resigned at this point. Let's see. Let's estimate the score. It says white's winning by 16. That's probably
again. I don't know that. That's,
I think it includes.
You think it includes Kobe? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. So this was a handy win by Ozeki.
It was kind of
It was very
his kind
subtle.
of game.
It's his
Right?
style. He wasn't winning by a large amount originally, but it gradually got bigger and bigger. Okay, so let's go on to the next game.
Okay, we're gonna switch games here. We're gonna go to
Korea, China. We've already done that.
no. We wanted. This is another game.
No, we
round
haven't
5.
done Korea.
Sorry, China, right?
Right. So Korea, China. That was a very important game. I'm ready. Okay, I gotta review it.
Review it.
Okay.
All right. This is Korea, China, and Korea is.
Korea is white.
It's round 5, yeah.
That's round 5.
All right.
Okay, so it's really standard nowadays for white to play the pressing move here. So this is the standard Joseki. When the pincer is distant like this, in the previous game we saw black playing a two-space pincer and then pushing through and cutting. That was Taiwan versus Korea. When it's distant like this, the cut is still complicated, but it's supposed to be good for white. So that's why black curled here. And when black slides here, the old Joseki was to play here. So the difference between these two moves, it's hard to say which is better in a given position, but the main difference is that white has momentum when white pushes on the fourth line, whereas white doesn't have a similar move against this move. So in this case, the fact that white doesn't have any good forcing moves against it means that it can be easier for black to attack the white group. So say white let's say white does something unreasonable like this. So something like this. And black starts to attack. When black attacks like this, the fact that white doesn't have any good ways to force moves, it makes it more difficult for white to run out towards the left, and relatively easy for black to attack this white group. So that's what the general ideas with black's low play here is that black is finishing the local position so that he doesn't have to play any more local moves, and he's going to attack from outside, you might say, on a larger scale. So black's trying to make an attack, and so white plays here. So this is an important move where white is taking the high ground and is going to give the right side to black so that white can have a strong group towards the center. And then after that, white can be looking at moves like this later in the game and maybe get a piece of the standard in the process. So white's trying to create a kind of a board position where this low move is not the optimal move anymore. So by strengthening the white group, the value of black's low move is reduced a little bit. So it's important to notice the moves your opponent plays, obviously. Okay, let's get back to the game. So black plays here. Black's still looking at the weakness here at this point. So black's still looking at that. And so white answered here. This is a move, it's sort of painful because it's good shape for black, but white for the time being is okay. So white attacked here. Squeeze, pressing down. Again, white doesn't really want to start a fight because white's group in the lower right is not secure yet. So this would be dangerous for white. And white instead is pressing down. So if black plays here, white's just going to extend and extend, give black a low shape. And then white would be able to play some other big point. So there's big points like this elsewhere on the board. So black bumps against white. So the meaning of this is that black doesn't want to play all those moves on the third and second lines to make a small territory on the right side. It's better for black to play here. If white plays down, black's going to play here, and there's going to be issues.
Splitting attack.
Yeah. So white just plays on the outside, lets black connect. And the reason why it's adding stones to that side is that another reason for black to be playing like this is that the next local black move is going to be this pushing through and cutting here.
Yeah.
So that's why white is adding stones to that side, making it a strong, relatively strong group that gets rid of the threat here. So now it's not such a threat because white's strong on that side. So yeah, black decides it's time to extend on the top side. This
is a pretty calm game so far,
yeah,
right?
The way he can take big points like this, where there would be a kind of a intuitive tendency to play like this, which would allow white to do something like this and take control of the top side. So something like this, for instance. So this would be the standard joseki, but in this case, it's not such an important move. So it's sort of typical of the Chinese player that he finds the timing to take the big territorial move. Okay, so up to this point, it's going well for black. I think it's okay for black up to this point. So black plays the pincer here. What white was doing in this variation was white was pretty focused on surrounding the top side. So another way to play would be, like, for instance, something like this. And so something like that. This would be a more Pacific way. White wanted to keep as much territory on the top side as possible. So I don't like the kick, but that was the idea behind it. And then black was going to move into the top side, so white continued.
What a funny shape.
It's a funny shape for black. That's because white played a vital shape move here. But the fact that black has a local advantage in the lower left corner, it gave black enough time to take care of that. So white plays the joseki here. Black took white's eyes. This is a point where it was an option for white to do something like this and take the left side. This would have been a normal move. Instead, white pushes here, and black they got into a little tussle here. But eventually, the idea is that when black gets to play here, this looks like it looks fairly good for black from my viewpoint. I thought this looked good for black. But when I looked at it with the computer, the score was going up and down. So it's a fairly close game. And every time black, like this was a slightly slack move. probably better to play b13 on the second line or something like that. It was a passive move. So every time a move like this happens, the score fluctuates a bit.
Just real quick, where's Terry's computer? Yeah, because he had to go deal with something. So could you bring it here, please? And whatever. Great, thank you. And you want to leave your stuff here? So you have to all back and forth. Back to you, sorry.
So it's kind of an end game at this point, but they get into a bigger fight. So black took the white's playing a forcing move here. Usually this is forcing, threatening to capture the 2 stones, and the status of this white group is sort of fluid, but white does have the move here.
I mean, locally it has like sort of half an eye.
It sort of has eye. It has some eye space. So if white gets to honey here, it's going to be difficult. Also, the 3 stones here, the connection is not perfect. So white can try moves like this, and the 3 stones are in danger. So it's probably okay. So it sort of depends on how things develop in the general area. And black didn't want to fix the shape, therefore. So like if black plays this, then white's going to react somehow. And so like in this case, black wouldn't be able to stop and the shape would be fixed. So black would lose all of the potential. So he's leaving it and he's invading. So this is a crucial fight here. Okay, so good so far. Yeah. Strong players don't like to connect when you peep. So like nothing's bad is going to happen, nothing special, but it's heavy. So black plays here. Black does have to be wary of weaknesses like this white coming here, the wedge. So he's sort of dancing around that. And it's a very complicated fight, so I'm trying to keep it simple. Black has just captured a white stone there.
Oh, the key move is coming up.
And white plays the peep here. At some point, black has to finish the shape in the center. So maybe here. Black does need 1 more stone in the center, and white's going to be able to cut something off. And you would usually think that this is a win for white, but actually it's a pretty close. No, not like that. When white plays here, black actually has the agi of this and this. So instead of doing that immediately, black can play here, and then black could play here. So there's some agi here, which is a problem for white. And white probably has to answer on this side, which gives black some profit here. So the computer thinks that this is an okay variation for black. This would have been okay because he got something on the left side there. In the game, black didn't do that, black answered here. So this is establishing a connection to the top side, but when white plays here, this side is going to collapse. So this was bigger. So at this point, white has taken a lead in territory, and after that, black didn't really have any chances. So we'll just go through the moves. White doesn't have a living shape locally. This is actually sort of entertaining. So when white plays here, this group is, if black plays here, this is a dead shape.
Oh, yeah.
This is also a dead shape. And so it's dead, right? So it's dead, but white does have, so this isn't actually the best way to kill it, but white does have an eye here. So like white has these 2 forcing moves and has an eye here. So
dead, not dead.
Yeah, right. So black's trying to find a way to make that happen. But when white plays here, now it's going to be difficult to kill that black group. So the combination of this here, so the other way for black to try to kill it was this one. And Black would like to make it a snapback, but can't play an Atari from this side. So Black's one move behind. And so this is also a living shape. And when White has played at F18, if Black plays it this way, White's going to connect underneath.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what F18 is doing. And so it's sort of an end game. And so here Black is, if White answers this, then Black's going to play here, and this will kill the White group, because Black can cut it off.
Oh, that other eye doesn't exist anymore.
And this eye, it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
It's a full side. Well, for instance, yeah. So White played on this side. So yeah, and Black got some extra territory, but this is a losing variation for Black. They finished the end game, and the Chinese player was really disappointed. He lost. Black won by. White won by 6.5 points.
Yeah, 6.5. Yeah.
It was even on the board, and they were in the middle of counting, but the Chinese player,
That was the one that you had to count.
he stopped moving. So yeah, he stopped moving his hands, and he was just looking at the board as if he was dazed or something. So yeah, I understand how he feels. But yeah, and I did get the feeling that if it weren't an international tournament game like this, he would have wanted to resign
Earlier, yeah.
Well, maybe even after finishing the game. The Chinese sometimes do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of the Chinese or Japanese don't like to do that, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not such a big deal for the Chinese. It's just a difference in the culture. Yeah. So they played it then, and it was 6.5 for White.
So this setup, this afternoon's, this is a Korea game, right?
Yeah, capturing the center here. This was the decisive
And
point.
it was all go back to that key move. It all went back to that.
Well, yeah, it's sort of surprising that Black could actually sacrifice the top side there. So with this move, this is his last chance to add a stone to the center. It's just that losing this area was so much bigger. So Black had to save that side.
So he can save this, but he sacked the entire.
He's going to lose the top side. However, because of the attachment of G15, he gets
some back.
He gets some tax out of it, right?
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give up the side either.
Right.
All right, so this set up our round 6 clash between the two undefeated ones, which is I think the next one we're looking at. Or we're looking at,
Sure.
Did we got up both Korea games?
I think we did, yes, Korea and China. And the other one was Korea versus, I forget. But I think we looked at it.
Okay.
Let's take a look. It was, Sao Kim versus Yu Cheng Dai. That was Taiwan, yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So we are to our final game.
I don't think I have it yet.
Yeah, we do. It's outside. It's out here. There it is. I haven't had a chance to make a folder for it yet.
It looks like it's not. Maybe it's not an
Is it
SGF
an
file.
SGF? It's possible. Hang with us, folks. Hang with us. Get to see the sausage being made sometimes. Oh, yes. Well, there is that. Okay. There it is. It's magic.
And I'm seeing this game for the first time.
First time, folks. You get
Okay.
to see it in real time.
Okay, so let's see. I'll create the
Create a
review.
review.
Let's take a look at that.
Copy the link. I'll put that back there. All right, so this is our fifth and final game for this analysis, and this is the actual 5-0 showdown
Right, yeah.
between.
So I haven't seen anything about this game, so I'm not sure how much I'll understand. But let's
no
start.
pressure.
Let's start with the finishing position.
Yeah. You
Because
gave us a problem
this
to
is the
look
fun
at.
one. Yeah. So White has played here, and I was thinking this is a good point for Black to resign. And the question is why, right?
Yeah, why?
So
'Cause-
this was looking like a Black territory. So I think that
Yeah.
when Black had to surround the center like this, and White had areas on the sides, White was already winning. Black's played a big endgame move, and White found this one. So Black wants to defend this territory here, and it looks like Black has two choices. So the choices would be maybe to push through here first, or to connect here. So White has to have a way to refute one of those two. So this one is relatively easy, because White plays here, and if Black wedges, White can cut here, and then play here. And that breaks into the Black territory. So this is a double threat. So that's a collapse for Black.
That's a collapse.
Yeah. So the relatively difficult one is this one, but it's a good thing White didn't play this move first. So just to show you the bad strategy is to play this one first. Then you don't have that attachment at E18. So that's why White doesn't start with this. But when Black pushes through, now White plays this. And White plays here. And you might be thinking, what's up? But actually,
I don't see the problem.
Actually,
Oh, this is a thing. It's a can't approach from either side thing again.
right, it's the same thing. So Black can play here, White can play here. There's no pushing move. So White's going to win by one move.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like
Right.
what, 15 points.
Well, yeah, obviously. The previous Black move was to play here. So obviously, Black was losing anyway, right?
Right.
So, yeah. And the players, when White plays here, they just see it. It's not even calculation.
Right.
This
see
is
it.
one of the easy ones. Okay, let's see what the game looked like. Okay.
Now we get to see Michael's brain in action.
Right, yeah.
Live.
I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so, right. Playing this opening, actually, this is the advised move. I think you should play the high kakari against this Shimari, because if you play the low kakari, if it's a strong player, he's going to do this wild joseki, and you have to know a zillion variations, right? So if you're...
This is the second round of the day. It's round 6.
Yeah. Well, if you're confident in that joseki, go ahead, but I'm not going to take responsibility. So if you play here, anyone who has studied with a computer knows that this gets the best score.
Right.
So, it's easier to find ways to deal with any of the pinchers. So it's more likely to be, basically you don't want to get into a fight on your opponent's side of the board, because it can go bad so easily. So I advise people to use this joseki. You just remember that Black got the cash, so Black's got something that looks like 15 points here, while White is getting a position. So you have to remember this is not White's territory, because if you think it's territory, then you'll get all irritated when Black comes in. You have to remember that it's not territory. If Black comes in, you want to focus on keeping the group healthy, rather than trying to kill Black every time Black comes in. So like, for instance, Black can play moves like this. You don't want to try to kill this stone, because you're going to get your own group in trouble. Like, you don't want to do something like this. It's a big fight, and it's the white stones who are going to die. So for instance, so you'd play something like this, and maybe play something like this on top. This would be a kind of a joseki version, where White would have a connected shape out to the center, and this would be okay. Okay, back to the game. Yeah, so this is an opening I see a lot of. Yeah, and this is big too. I still find it weird how people like to play the 3-3 point even before playing a kakari against a 3-4 point, but it strangely works. So I'll just leave it there. This is a big move. Black's looking at some kind of an attack against White, and this defends the White group. So in this case, it was a kikashi. Black doesn't have to play any more moves, so that's correct. Yeah. So if white had left it, then black would be thinking of playing another attacking move here. So now it's starting to look like a white territory, and this exchange has served to, it's reinforcing the area here. So it's making it easier for black to make that territory. Okay, getting into a fight on the left side. Yeah. Yeah.
And just a reminder, what you said before about the Japanese. It's which is
White is the Japanese player.
white is a Japanese.
This is his game,
This is his game, right?
He's just taking territory and
Just
playing
nice.
very slowly.
Right.
And there's no huge fights about to happen. This is his style. Okay, so black's getting angry here, but there's a potential life in the corner here. So even if black plays first, it's sort of difficult to kill. So like if black plays a move like this, white still has some potential to sort of connect up some of the stones. So it's sort of difficult to kill. Yeah, he's getting really angry. Yeah. Okay, so what's happening here? Oh. Yeah, so this is just bad. So this was a successful sacrifice for white because white's getting a huge profit towards the right. So we have to find something better for black here. So at this point, black is succeeding to cut. And so if white plays here, black's going to win the semi.
Right.
If white plays here, this is going to collapse. So white is trying to play some forcing moves before that happens. So that's this move. If black goes after the force, well, he can't, can I?
No.
Right. So black captures. White plays here. So like this, white's going to play all the forcing moves, making it easy. So like if white plays here, white's going to get a little territory there, right? So preparing to sacrifice, get the squeeze into. So you can see how white has played all the potential forcing moves, and then white's going to play something on this side. Let's see, where's good move? Maybe here. It's sort of hard to choose which way white's going to defend make the net. White has a number of ways to make the net. Maybe this is, I think this is the more prudent one. But white got a lot of forcing moves before sacrificing the 4 stones, and so this is okay for white. So that was white's plan, and when black played this way, wow. It's probably better for black to just let that happen. And black probably has to play here.
Disconnect.
Yeah. And it's going to revert to that variation.
Right.
And yeah. So this is what white was trying to do. So it's not bad for white, but black had no choice. So black plays here. White, white got some squeeze out of it anyway, and then white got to play here. So this is really bad because the right side is falling apart. And you have to remember, this corner, once upon a time, that was black's territory.
Sure.
Yeah, or at least we thought so. So yeah, that's how this was not working. Okay.
Oh
So-
dear.
So this was not a decisive attack because white's so strong. White's so strong on this side, and so the black stone here, it's not really connected yet. So that means that white's going to have time to make 2 eyes. Wow. Yeah, he's getting into trouble all over the place. Yeah. Oh, why do that? Okay, wait a moment. Okay, this would keep the corner territory.
That makes T5 sense anyway.
He was trying to fill White's liberties. Yeah. Okay. So the previous move was probably an overplay. And White just lived now. So yeah. So Black was trying to make a semi out of it, but he's lost some points in the corner because the corner's going to be a seki now. Yep. Quite definitely this
Is that the right timing for that?
This is forcing. You're talking about White living in the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
So White plays here. It's if Black
Right,
leaves
right.
it, then it's an eye with no eye.
Yeah.
So Black plays here, and Black has to make an eye too. So the whole thing turned into a seki,
Wow, that costs a lot of points.
and that was because of this move here. So he was trying to fill the liberties of the outside White brute in for a semi-eye. So he shouldn't have tried to kill it in the first place because he couldn't kill it, and he just lost the corner territory. So that added to his losses, I think. Yeah. So of course you can see how White was making that happen by
He just
playing.
didn't see that?
He was losing, so it could
He
be.
doesn't have time.
It could be that he wasn't bothering to calculate because he knew he was losing.
Right.
Or it could be that, well, at least old-fashioned players used to set up a position to resign.
Right.
People don't do that so much nowadays. But there was a time when it was considered to be the graceful thing to do, to sort of put your head on the platter and allow your opponent to do that. And so that it could be that he did it that way.
It's a very cool move.
Yeah.
It's really, very impressive set of games and great analysis on the fly, Michael. Thank you. It was very. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching and hanging in for all 5 games. We do have two more rounds tomorrow, and I think there's still some play out there that's gonna.
Well, yeah. So the Japanese player has a perfect record of 6 wins, but there's a number of players with 5 wins and a
China's
loss.
5-1.
I would expect that pretty soon Japan's going to have to play China,
Right.
and although China's lost a game, he's a tough player. So
Right.
we could end up with a 3-way tie or something like that with 5-1, or it would eventually maybe be 6-1. I think it's conceivable that there could be 2 or 3 players with 6-1. I mean, 8 rounds, so it's 7-1.
7-1. Yeah. Ooh, good
So
time. Good time not to
that
be the
could
TD.
happen. Oh well, so
I know.
the TD just does a calculation. Yeah, they have a computer for that, I'm sure.
So just we will be 9:30 is the 7th round, and we'll be streaming just the games. Maybe we'll get some more player analysis as the game's finish. You've probably been hearing the players as they come in. Usually it gets pretty noisy this time of day. And then we have the last set of games tomorrow at 2 o'clock PST. And I don't know what we'll do as far as commentary, because I think we'll be able to do that, because we'll be back for commentary for the afternoon, and then we will stream the award ceremony in the evening and close things out. So I think it's time for our walk.
Yes.
All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Everybody take care.
Can I ask you a question about this game?
Yeah.
When White played the attachment in the corner and then